could continue on to our conversation from the last time. I remember that I did mention stimming before about some of my autism things that I do to relieve tension. My experience with stimming is that I think it all started when I was young, like stimming is just a way for my body to soothe its nervous system. Like some of the first things that I had, I would say is I used to move my hands a certain kind of way, like I would just basically like make different move my fingers and like connect all my fingers together in a way so that it can, because I don't know, it's just something that how it looked when I touched my hands together and brought my hands together and just connected all my fingers with each other. That always felt like one of the main stems I had since I was a child. But then after a while I felt like, damn, this looks, some people probably thought it would look weird, but I don't know that for sure because nobody really actually told me that it looked weird, but I didn't see anybody else doing it, so I was like, okay, I think maybe this is a little weird. But sometimes it's like I still can't help the fact that that's what I want to do with my hands. Another thing I noticed I started doing more of is like, I think it started in my teens or in my 20s. It's like when I was in bed, I would need to like shake my legs very quickly because either I felt extremely tired or I just wanted to wake up, but I couldn't wake up. I couldn't shake the feeling of feeling tired or feeling stressed. So it's like my legs shaking. Another thing is like if I had a lot of tension and I was outside, I would probably start rocking or even like shaking my legs up and down very quickly so that I could just like get rid of all that tension. Another thing is I feel like stimming is just very important for somebody like that needs to feel safer. Just a second here. it's like they feel the need to also show that type of belief system with their clients, and I did feel some kind of disconnect, some type of disconnected feeling with that therapist, but at the same time, she did so much to try to make me feel comfortable too, but I always felt kind of weird. I'm no longer seeing that therapist anymore, but I had to continue on my journey, and then I had to start seeing another. Had to go through another process for my mental health. And at the moment, I feel like mostly supported by therapy, but I feel at the same time like there's never really enough time to talk about everything. It's just not enough. So that's why I feel the need to make more videos like this, because in a way it's like I'm making this like therapy, like talk therapy, because it's good to just talk about things and let things out instead of like holding things in and not sharing it with people around me. Because, even if some people may not understand why I feel the way I feel, at least I got it out, instead of holding it in. Like, part of the whole thing is just like not letting ourselves feel embarrassed to share our truth. We have to learn how to just be more confident with sharing our truth, and that's what I do by posting these videos now. It's part of my unmasking process. Stimming for me is just, it's what I do to relieve tension in my body. I feel like, in a way, I think part of the reason also is because I've been learning how to feel safe in my body and in my surroundings for a long time. And I think as somebody on the spectrum, I think part of the reason why everything is way more intense and I'm way more sensitive to my environment and things like that is really because I have to feel safe. And the more safe I feel, the more comfortable I feel. And the less I may stim, but at the same time, stimming is really just part of my human nature, I guess. It's part of just like what makes me human. What else should I talk about that? I like the fact that there are more than 1 billion people in the world, and Just because I may not be around the right person right now doesn't mean that I won't come across a person that can be right for me at some point, right? And I feel like that's so important, is to be connected with people that are good for my nervous system. Because I do feel a need that of having that safe, energetic exchange by being around the right person. You know, somebody that helps that oxytocin, you know, that helps me feel oxytocin when I'm around them. That's the type of person I'd like to be with. Somebody that makes me feel warm, makes me feel safe, makes me feel loved, cared for. I like that feeling. And that's the type of feeling that I feel would help my nervous system to be regulated. You know, this world has been so traumatizing at certain points in my life. And in a way, I've had to build my confidence over and over again based on different moments in time that may have shattered my confidence. Because my confidence is so important for the purpose of allowing me to be someone that can share my value to the world. You know, like I have to feel valuable and purposeful in order for me to be able to share that. And that is the result of having confidence. So I think that's all I had to say for now on stimming, and hope to be back soon. I'll see you in the next video. Strength of Mind, Shamanic Oracle, signing out.